presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Francisco Lindor and the Indians have been on a historic tear. 18 consecutive wins. During that time, Lindor has hit .357 with 8 homers and 14 runs batted in. And on the season, now 29 home runs for the Indians all-star shortstop. Today, here at Progressive Field, the Cleveland Indians continue their march toward baseball history, looking for their 19th consecutive win as they open up a 3-game series against the Detroit Tigers. But this is also a day of remembrance across the United States of America. We remember those who gave their lives and who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001. We shall not forget. So many lost, so many sacrificed. So a solemn day, but in true American spirit, we move forward. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Banning. This is a Cleveland Indians team that has continued to march forward day after day after day. They refuse to stop and look back and reflect on what they've accomplished. They have one mission in mind: win the division, get to the postseason, get back and win the World Series. They've had contributions from everyone, Rick. Pitching, offense, defense. But let's take a minute and consider Jose Ramirez and make a case for most valuable player in the American League.
Well, we had the opportunity to watch him play every day, and this guy's been spectacular. It doesn't matter whether he's at third base, whether he's at second base. He leads the league in extra base hits. He leads the league in doubles. He's really the spark plug of this team. He just makes everything go. He likes to play every day. He's had an exciting year, a career year in home runs, in runs scored. When it's all said and done, this team revolves around him. And you look at the other 4 candidates beside Jose out there. Jose Altuve has a really good chance with Houston. He's been outstanding, hitting almost 400 on the road. Jonathan Scope, who just left town, for second baseman, he's set up the tempo. 31 homers, 103 RBIs. Mike Trout always in the running for an MVP, and everybody will always find spot for him. But Aaron Judge, the rookie in New York, also 41 home runs, now 90 RBIs. He has the walks. He has the runs scored. So it's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough get.
There really does not seem to be any clear-cut favorite. You can make a good case for a lot of those people. It's going to come down to the writers and who they vote for and which way they lean.
We got about 19 games left.
That's right. Time for the closing arguments, if you will. Well, the Indians' starting pitching in particular has been fantastic during this win streak. Overall, collectively, the pitching staff has allowed fewer than 2 runs per game. That's going to win you a bunch of ball games.
Oh, it certainly has. How about 18 in a row? And Carlos Carrasco, a big part of that. He's coming off a start in Chicago where he was 1 pitch away for a complete game shutout. He was dominating. I mean, he threw over 75% strikes. He was all over that strike zone, some of the best stuff he ever had. But you know what? So has the rest of the staff. They're 16-0, giving up less than 2 runs. The offense is averaging 7 runs. But, 22 walks and 112 strikeouts. You can't pitch any better than the starters have. And it's just that they're feeding off each other. They continue to go, and it's been a treat. You score early, and you turn it over to the starting staff.
We'll see if they continue their run tonight here at home against the Detroit Tigers. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch. We'll also check in with Andre Knott, who tells us this winning streak has actually brought a close-knit team even closer together. Closer look at the numbers the Indians have put up during the 18-game win streak. They've outscored their opponents 121-32. They've hit 37 homers. Only twice during the streak, only twice at the 18 games have they not hit a home run.
Yeah, they've been unbelievable. 37 home runs. They've allowed 32 runs. Very impressive. Take a look at the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, Carlos Carrasco, coming off a tremendous start in his last outing. 1 out away from throwing a complete game shutout. You know, he threw 97 pitches, 76 of those pitches strikes. And then he will be starting against Detroit for the 6th time this year, and he is 3-1 against the Tigers.
Here we go. First ball swinging. Ian Kinsler drives one to deep right. Back goes Jay Bruce. On to the warning track. He pulls it down, 1 away. Rest of the Tigers starting 9 for Brad Ausmus, brought to us by Hankook Tires. Alex Presley, the DH, follows Kinsler. Then it's Miguel Cabrera, Nick Castellanos, Jeimer Candelario bats 5th. James McCann, the catcher, will hit 6th. Tyler Collins just got called up today from the minors. He'll bat 7th. Jacoby Jones is 8th. Dixon Machado batting 9th. You know, they had a stat in here about Ian Kinsler that I was reading earlier about the fact that he doesn't strike out very often. He's so aggressive, he very rarely gets to 2 strikes, does he?
No, and he's got a good eye at the plate as well. He's not afraid to walk, but he knows the strike zone well, and he got after Carrasco.
Presley fouls one back, and it's 1-1. There are a lot of these Indians pitchers, Rick, that if I was a hitter, I'd be swinging early too, because they can make you look bad.
They lead the league in strikeouts, and they give up the fewest walks. So you got to get aggressive against these guys because they have wicked stuff. They can put you away, and you don't like that when you're a hitter.
Curveball misses outside. I know baseball is a game that we love the statistics that surround it. We apologize that sometimes we may go a bit overboard, but this is what we do. We get wrapped up in a lot of these numbers. But I was looking at the one stat that we had earlier during the win streak here. 112 strikeouts against just 22 walks.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It truly is. I mean, they stay aggressive. That's been the most remarkable thing, I think, is the starters. You figure at one point in time someone would have a hiccup and give up 5 or 6 runs. They haven't done that.
The only bad game, knock on wood, was Danny Salazar.
That was 4 runs in the 1st inning.
But he was out so fast.
Right. They had 8 innings to get back into it, and they certainly did.
And the bullpen did a phenomenal job picking them up.
8 2/3 shutout innings in that game.
66 degrees here at game time. Pretty good breeze blowing straight in from center field. Fouled back again by Alex Presley. Presley serving as the DH, but he was impressive when we saw him in Detroit. He went 9 for 21 on the year against the Indians.
You know, you get back to that stat, Carrasco in his last 3 starts hasn't walked a batter and has 25 strikeouts. So that just, you know, that's, and he's got a 3-2 count now, and I guarantee he's going to throw a strike.
And the payoff, swung on it, missed. Oh, he came with a little breaking ball, and Presley swings over the top, 2 down.
Let's check out the Indians defense, brought to you by Ram. It looks like this. Chisenhall in left field. Allen gets a start in center. Bruce is over and right. Diaz at 3rd. Lindor at short. Ramirez at 2nd. Santana at 1st. And Gomes doing the catching.
Crew chief Paul Emmel behind the plate tonight. Scott Berry, Quinn Walcott, Brian O'Nora round out the crew. There's Brian O'Nora down at 3rd base. Veteran umpire. Here is Miguel Cabrera. Swings at the first pitch. Fouls it back out of play. Cabrera has 9 hits against the Indians this year. Wow. Now 3 of those 9 hits have been home runs, so he can still do some damage. But overall, just a .91 average against Cleveland this year, well below what we normally see him do.
Well, we've seen him hit well over 400 against the Indians.
In off the plate, moves him back a little bit.
You know, not the same lineup we're used to seeing. As a matter of fact, the Tigers really took it to the Indians early in the year. They won only 4 games against the Tribe last year, and they have 6 wins this year, but most of them came early.
1-1 pitch. Rick, we just saw the numbers for Cabrera, what he's done up to this point in the season compared to a year ago. Any concern in Detroit over Cabrera, or is that more a product of, man, who's left around him to protect him?
Well, it's a little bit of both, and he's just had a tough year. He's been hurt, you know, he's had some injuries and things like that. He's still a great hitter, and you know, he's getting to that point where they say, oh, he's getting old, maybe he's losing it. I think it's just one of those years. He's still a very good hitter. He makes it look easy, but it's a tough year for him. It's been a tough year for the Detroit Tigers, period.
Victor Martinez done for the rest of the year. He's undergone that heart procedure that Tito had done earlier this year.
J.D. Martinez, you know, they started, you know, the sell off.
2 down, and the 2-2 pitch from Carrasco. And now a full count. Nick Castellanos, really the only true veteran in the middle of that lineup. Kinsler, obviously a veteran, but he's batted near the top, if not leadoff, all season long.
McCann had a good year for himself this year behind the plate, too. He's been especially good since the All-Star break.
And the payoff pitch. Up high, ball 4. Storylines tonight brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Only 32 runs allowed by the Indians pitching staff during the streak, and they have belted 37 home runs themselves.
That's really remarkable. 32 runs in 18 games.
Ooh. Nick Castellanos is swinging a miss at an off-speed pitch.
Castellanos, a guy now they're playing him in right field to get a look and see at him. They know what he can do at third base. They're letting Candelario play over there to see what they have, and you know, they have to look to the future. They have a lot of things to do. Will Brad Ausmus be back next year? We don't know.
That's hit pretty well down the left field line, and it is a fair ball in the corner.
Bounces up into the seats, which is a break.
The Indians catch a break. Cabrera stops at third.
It is a break. He got it off the end of the bat. I mean, when it first went out, you thought it might have a chance because he pulled it, but it looked like it caught it right on the line. Take a look. It's a hanging breaking ball from Carrasco. He left it on the inside part of the plate. Castellanos still hit it off the end of the bat. And watch where it bounces, right on the chalk, and it goes into the seats. So ground rule double. Cabrera has to stay in third, and Carrasco has a chance to get out of it now.
The old face, switch hitting Jeimer Candelario, who's at third base tonight. Castellanos has moved to the outfield. That's something they talked about when we were in Detroit, but Brad Ausmus said he needed some time to work through that. Swing and a miss. The biggest obstacle there was not obstacle, but they wanted to make sure Castellanos was comfortable moving to the outfield.
Right.
To give maybe some of these young guys a look.
Well, you know how Tito and his group do the same things. You know, you got to clear it with a player just to smooth everything out before you're going to make changes.
The Indians have a little project of their own underway with Jason Kipnis.
That's right.
Moving to the outfield, taking some fly balls in center today before the game.
He'll be taking them all week long.
The injury to Bradley Zimmer. Lost for the season with a broken hand on that slide into first base last night. 1-1 pitch, swung out and missed.
Well, this one he gets him to swing over the top of. That's a ball, but you can see it's it looked like a changeup.
Yeah, it sure did.
Playing on the aggressiveness of the rookie. right back down and in. See if he'd go after it again. He did not.
He retired Kinsler on a fly ball in the first pitch of the night. Then he struck out Alex Presley. The 3-2 pitch was high to Miguel Cabrera for a walk, and then Castellanos doubled on a fly ball right down the line. They hit the chalk. Now the 2-2 to Candelario. In the air, shallow left. Out goes Lindor. He's calling for it, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, 2 left. The Indians are coming to bat.
And we'll look at Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Tigers, Miles J, making his first major league start. He has pitched twice so far. Once was September 2nd against the Indians back in Detroit. Went 3 1/3, 2 hits, and no runs, zeros across the board. 25 starts, a double in AAA this year, 4-13 record.
Francisco Lindor will lead it off. The Indians starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Under Terry Francona, Lonnie Chisenhall to the 2 spot. Jose Ramirez bats 3rd. Edwin Encarnacion cleanup. Jay Bruce, the 5-hole hitter. Carlos Santana, red hot right now, bats 6th. Then it's Yandy Diaz, Yan Gomes, who's found his stroke, and Greg Allen, the youngster, batting 9th.
The one thing Jay did good against the Indians his last time out against them, he didn't walk anybody. He's not a strikeout guy. He's a pitch to contact guy, so the defense has to be ready.
Lindor, over his last 60 games, has batted .310, and in those 60 games he's hit 15 of his 29 homers. He's driven home 35 of his 73 runs batted in. Miles J deals, and Frankie fouled it off.
Well, he's fit into that leadoff slot nicely, hasn't he? With the energy, and just got his line drive stroke back, and in turn, because he's putting good swings on the baseball, he's back to hitting home runs again, and not trying to.
It's weird, Rick. I don't know that it's just a different style of baseball we're seeing these days, but You know, you always heard that the cleanup hitter is the most important guy in your lineup. Everything revolves around. Once you figure out who that guy is, you kind of lay everything out.
Your leadoff hitter is too.
But that's what I always thought. You know, you have to have a leadoff man, and yet this team searched for 2-3 months to find somebody.
Yeah, they did.
To take over that spot.
And yes, they did. And they tried just about everybody. But those are the two most important spots. You know, 1 and 4. You can find guys that can slot in and do other things.
The 2-2. Frankie staying alive with a foul ball.
Putting up a quality at bat. They scored in the first yesterday. He had a double to lead off the bottom of the first. Ended up scoring on a base hit.
Two. Swung on and missed. Well, Miles J. able to hang in there and get a strikeout of Lindor to start the game.
Let's check out the Tigers defense, brought to you by WB Mason. It's Collins in left, Jones in center, Castellanos in right, Candelario at third, Machado at short, Kinsler at second, Cabrera is at first with McCann doing the catching.
Lonnie Chisenhall. Boy, Lonnie was having a big year against the Tigers in particular before the injury. He was hitting .351 against Detroit pitching this year with 4 home runs.
Yeah, one of those were a pinch hit grand slam back here in April.
Missed inside off the plate, 2-0. Bouncer to first. Cabrera stays with it, and there are 2 down. That will bring up Jose Ramirez. Despite suffering through an 0 for 11 slide, he's still 5th in the American League in batting average. He is number 1 in the American League in doubles and extra base hits.
Yeah, here's the guy has killed the Tigers on the year. 473 with 8 homers and 22.
Oh, man. I think he hit him on that ball.
RBIs. Did it bounce and get him? Or
Sure
did he
looked
get out
like
of the way?
Yeah, it got him. He tried to get out of the way, but it was bearing in on him. And once it hit the dirt,
he had no chance to get out of the way.
Couldn't get out of the way. So 2-out base runner.
Well, his curveball, that was almost like a slider he held on to, and it bounced up. It looked like it got him in the knee, the right knee, left knee.
Yeah,
left
right on
knee.
the inside of that left knee.
Yes, it did.
So that gives Edwin Encarnacion a chance to bat here in the first. 7th in the league in homers, 10th in runs batted in now for Edwin. And a fastball misses high. And a strike over the inside corner. Edwin maybe not on the same page as Paul Lemon with that pitch. Tigers defense, not a pure shift on the infield, but you can see the outfield really pulled around toward left and deep.
Yeah, they're very deep.
Tried to hold up, but he went around, and now Jay gets ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you're going to see him go chase after this pitch out of the zone. Look at it from the side. He certainly does. But pitchers now, you know, they're awfully careful with Edwin because he can walk. He's second in the league in walks. He works himself back in accounts like so many of the Indians hitters.
94 walks this year for Edwin Encarnacion.
Yeah, Judge leads the league with 107.
And Carlos Santana's not far behind. He's fourth in the league with 80 walks.
Yes, exactly. This is a team that if you walk any of the Indians, that's why this guy here, he's not overpowering and their strikeout guy. He has to minimize the walks.
Fouled back out of play. Count stays a ball and 2 strikes. Another foul back. You know, we've talked about the Indians scoring early and scoring first and how that has been a key component to their success. Tom Bochenek says so far this year, over the first 3 innings, they have scored more runs than they did all of last season.
In the
first 3 innings.
Well, you remember earlier in the year it wasn't the case. It seemed like they were falling behind, and
yeah.
I remember, and it's crazy when you look at the way they're playing now. Where we talked a couple of times about that 50-50 ball they talk about, you know, that you have to make or the player you don't.
Right.
They couldn't make it, and they weren't winning games. Now everything's going their way. They're making it happen.
2 down. Ramirez at first. 2-2 on its way to Encarnacion. Smash, just foul at third. Boy, did he hit that hard.
Yeah, he hung it. He hung on breaking ball. That's what he's waiting for. He's been on a couple of pitches away that he's fouled off, and now watch, there's the breaking ball. He made a big mistake, and he's lucky to get away with it. He wouldn't have got to that ball. Candelario would not.
See how he pulled his hands in to get the barrel of that thing.
That's so slow. He can afford to.
2-2.
Oh boy,
base hit left field.
That was good hitting right there. Really nice.
Stops at second.
The pitch before he pulled the hands in, this pitch he kept his hands back and was able to flip it into left field. He's going to go with the slider. But look at him. Look at, he was out front. He was fooled on that pitch, but he kept his hands back enough, and you can see the barrel of the bat stayed through the hitting area pretty well. Hit a line drive to left, so the first hit in there, they have an opportunity to score.
So 2 on and 2 out, much like the Tigers. All this happening with 2 outs. And now the veteran Jay Bruce to the plate. And 32 career games in this ballpark. Jay Bruce has a .322 batting average with 5 homers, 14 runs batted in. Fouled out of play. Jay was telling me before the game tonight he could not have envisioned a more perfect scenario for he and his family to get traded to the Indians. He said it's Midwest, it's blue collar. He said I spent all those years in Cincinnati. He said this to me is a perfect fit. Not to mention the ball club is in the midst of an unbelievable historic run, but he said take that aside. He goes, this is where I want to be. Perfect.
Well, when you feel like that, then that's great. You can't wish for anything more.
And now the 1-1. In the air, left field. Collins on the run. Foul ground, can't get there. It's a foul ball.
I will say this outfield plays as deep as anybody I've seen come into this ballpark. I know in Detroit we talk about the spaciousness of that ballpark, and when we were there the last time, let's see where it lands in the corner. Foul. It's off the wall really, but look, I mean, he just ran laterally and he's about on the warning track when they go out.
Remember, Arch, when we were in Detroit, Presley was in right field, and he had some issues with that ball in the gap.
In right center, they had some problems. And I'll tell you what, they're going to have a center fielder that can go get them if they expect to play solid defense in their home ballpark. But every outfielder is very deep.
The 1-2 now to Bruce. Foul away to the left. He went upstairs and slapped it out of play. Jay also said to please pass along thanks to everybody that helped out with his drive to raise funds for the folks in Beaumont, Texas, where he's from, to help out after the hurricane.
Talk about perfect situation.
Oh, man. He said he was overwhelmed by all the outpouring of support. The 1-2 just missed outside.
Looked like Jay thought he had one. He took a little walk to their dugout. Watch him as this ball is off the plate, no doubt.
Two on, two out. Opening frame here in Cleveland. In the air, left center. Collins says he's got it. He does. And the inning is over. No runs a hit, 2 left. We are scoreless after 1. James McCann, Tyler Collins, Jacoby Jones due up for Detroit.
Both pitchers leaving a pair of runners stranded in the first.
Little squibber foul, and it stays that way. Base hit into left field. James McCann continues to swing it well. That's 9 for 21 on the year against the Indians. Let's go down to Andre.
Thanks, Matt. As most people across America talk about the Indians' win streak currently, all they want to talk about is the camaraderie and why they're so close in tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the game.
Everybody in here is working towards the same goal. You know, we don't really have any any personal agendas, or if there are, they're taking a backseat to what the team's trying to do. And I think that's why you see guys having so much fun and going out there and trying to do everything they can to help out their teammates.
Do all teams that you've played on like each other as much as this group likes each other in your mind?
No, not even close. Usually it's your typical office environment. I mean, not everywhere, but I mean, you always have your cases of that, but not here. There's no disruptions to this clubhouse at all.
I like it. I like it.
Why do you like it?
I like it.
I just like it.
That's good, Andre. You got good stuff there. I like it.
Cody Allen gave me the best comment, though. Him and I have a pact. You guys will find out about that later on. He says Nap brought something to the team last year where he basically said to everybody, when you walk into this clubhouse, we're all one. No matter your race, no matter what country you're from, no matter your religion. We'll figure out all that other mess, but first we're going to be teammates and take care of each other. And Cody says that marinated. He goes, that's exactly who they are this year. They take care of each other and they figure out the rest later on.
Thanks, Andre. But it took a while.
What a way to go.
For that stew to come together. The 1-2 pitch. And as we've talked about before, a few new ingredients. Takes a little while to figure out how's this going to work.
162 games. It's a lot to work through, and it changes constantly.
Yeah.
With injuries, with different players. We go to spring training, we say that. Believe me, when they say it's a marathon, it truly is. Everybody wants it to happen now. That's the American way. Let's get it now. I want it now. It doesn't come that way in baseball.
Well, you think back to the month of March in Goodyear. We watched Yandy Diaz. We watched Bradley Zimmer. We didn't know maybe where they fit, how they fit. We saw Francisco Mejia. We saw Greg Allen. We didn't know maybe if they would play a role, what role it would be, but at some point they all were countable. Swung on and missed. Carrasco strikes out Tyler Collins, his second of the night, 1 down. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Since 1900, these are the longest win streaks, and it's worth pointing out that both the Giants and the Cubs, those win streaks both started in the month of September. And here you have the Indians, whose win streak started on August the 24th. That Oakland A's streak went from August 13th to September 4th.
Wow.
So a lot of these win streaks, for whatever reason, I don't know if that's coincidence or the fact that when you get into September, you catch some teams that are just maybe playing out the string. Maybe they're gassed, they're tired, but teams that are good really take advantage.
And that one string that's 26 games from the Giants, there's a tie.
That's an asterisk.
That goes on.
Put the asterisk on it.
Yeah, they won 14 games. They tied one and ended up going on to win 12 more after that, because back then you had ties, no lights, they couldn't continue to play.
Yeah, both the Giants and the 1906 White Sox also had a tie mixed into their undefeated streak. One on, one out. Jacoby Jones, the batter. And the 0-2 from Carrasco is swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks here in the second. And Cookie now 195 strikeouts on the year.
Well, this is the nasty slider by Carrasco that's so tough to hit from hitters. And it has been like that all year long. He had that pitch working so well in his last start. He was throwing everything for strikes. It was ridiculous. I can't believe he didn't get a shutout in that game. He went 8 2/3. The one guy hit a solo home run with 2 outs in the 9th, and he finished off the next hitter.
Found out a play by Dixon Machado.
That's for one reason why you can't compare generations, Matt, because it's changed. It changes, and it's different. If you can tie, that's not a winning streak. That's an unbeaten streak.
Yeah.
So it's different, but it's some kind of run. We may never see this again. So you're watching something that is a treat to watch.
No, it's just, you think about an Indians franchise that's been around over 100 years, and last year was the first time they ever had a 14-game win streak ever. And now this year they've blown by it. Swung out and missed. Carrasco punches out 3 straight after the leadoff single by James McCann. No score, middle of the second.
App for live Indians baseball. You can stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today.
Well, the Indians go to work here in the second. No score. Carlos Santana will lead it off. Miles J. And a pitch outside, ball 1. Miles J. in his first major league start. Just a couple innings out of the bullpen before tonight's game.
Well, yeah, you think he started in Erie in Double-A this year, Matt. He pitched, 14 starts down there, went up to Triple-A in Toledo, made 11 starts. You look at his numbers and you wouldn't think much of it, and he didn't pitch deep into a lot of games, but he's getting an opportunity here at the major league level.
Down low.
I look at it this way: a lot of times you wait to see these guys that second time through, when they haven't seen them before, although they did get a chance to see him for 3 innings in September 2nd back in Detroit.
Three and 1 to count. Carlos Santana against the Tigers this year, a .262 average, couple of homers, 12 driven in. And he takes a walk, number 81 on the year, and the Indians' leadoff man is aboard. Now, the Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. Help those affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org or texting Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. It has been, wow, quite a few weeks when you think back to Harvey after it made landfall down in Houston and throughout the southern part of Texas, and now Hurricane Irma as it tore through the Caribbean and on up into western Florida. Down low to Yandy Diaz. Yandy, over his last 17 games since he was called back to the big leagues, has batted .333. He hits one on the hole on the left side. And that has to be troubling for future opponents. They've seen him pace the ball to right and right center field. Now he's starting to get pitches to turn on, and he's pulling him through the hole.
And we've seen him get a few hits going between that hole, between short and third recently. And you know, if they throw that breaking ball and they don't get away, there it is. It speeds up your bat a little bit. Although that pitch was down, he did a good job to find that hole there. So they'll have the first 2 men aboard here in the second.
And now Yan Gomes. And the Indians catching duo has been a work in progress this year, but Terry Francona really believes that by Roberto Perez playing better and playing more, he said, I think that's helped Yan Gomes, and so now they've really got a good two-headed monster going.
I totally agree.
Broken back, base hit center field. Santana coming around third to wave him home. No throw. Indians take the lead 1-0. RBI number 50 for Yan Gomes, who's now hit in 7 straight.
You know, you look at it, they both played 9 games in this 18-game streak. Gomes was hitting .324. That's his 10th RBI with 3 home runs. Perez, .382, 3 home runs and 12 ribbies. So there you go. Yeah. I mean, I think it's solid competition amongst each other that makes everyone better. And again, the Indians are going to take the lead. There it is, right back up the middle. And when you look at them, 84 RBIs between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, and they do a great job of throwing runners out. They've had 31 guys caught stealing in the streak. So,
and this bottom third of the order from time to time has really picked the Indians' offense up. Greg Allen showing bunt, almost got hit by the pitch. I'm thinking these guys may have faced each other at Double-A earlier in the year.
Very well could have, if not Triple-A. He's going to bunt, and look at that. Better get it out of the way. He did.
One-0 pitch. He bunts, gets it down. The barehand attempt goes awry, and there's where speed is a huge factor and a big asset for Greg Allen and the Indians. I'm assuming it'll be an infield single for Greg.
It is.
He tried with a barehand. It was probably the only play he had.
You know, that's you. Instead of just grabbing the ball, he was going to go to third base. He took his eye off of it, and he wanted to go to third instead of just getting it out. Should have went with the glove, go to first base. He couldn't do it. He wanted to make the spin and throw it. And that's where the game speeds up on young players. It was a really nice bunt by Allen, who put it down. You put the pressure on the defense. And Jay cannot field it cleanly. He'll get a base hit. It'll load the bases, and he doesn't get an out. And now the Indians have an opportunity for a big inning.
There might not be a guy in the Indians clubhouse right now having more fun than Greg Allen. When I talked to him today, he said, you know, he started at Double-A, spent the whole season at Akron. You're probably not thinking, oh, I'm going to be in the big leagues by the time the season's over.
By no means.
And not only are you in the big leagues, but you're not just on a club playing off the string. You're on a club that's trying to play for something big postseason, and now in the middle of a historic win streak, and he is having the time of his life, and he's contributing. What's better?
Enjoy it. Nothing.
Bases loaded, nobody out. A run already in, and now Francisco Lindor. Struck out his only time up in the first, and that's almost to the backstop. Ball 1.
He's going to have to try and slow it down a little bit, because the Indians have a lot of pressure on him. They're back up at the top of the lineup. And how many times do we say Lindor's hit in the first 2 innings of every game? I mean, how many games that we go through this streak where he's walking into the batter's box in the second inning for the second time?
Oh, he smokes this one in the gap. That'll get down and go to the wall. This will clear the bases. Diaz scores. Gomes scores. Look at Greg Allen flying home. Frankie's going for 3, and he is safe. And he's going to, no, he slammed on the brakes. I've run far enough. I'm going to hold right here.
Yeah, that's a smart call right there. He saw the ball get away, but I'll tell you, it looks like the pitcher backed up. he helped his own cause, or at least maybe saved a run. But Lindor plugged the gap. This will be our yellow with bringing the lumber. And all three were going to score with the speed of Allen on first. And Frankie says, I'm going to third. The ball actually hit him before it got to third base, and it got away. Look at Allen flying. So that's a 4-run inning, and the first 5 guys reached. Watch the ball hit his foot, and it takes off, and the pitcher's back over by third base doing his job and saved a run right there.
Infield in. Chisenhall checks on a ball down and in. Triples are made out of the box, as you say, and that one, without a doubt, Lindor was thinking 3 all the way. Lonnie checks. It's a called strike. So the first 5 have reached here in the second. 4 are in. Lindor at third.
Started with a leadoff walk.
Again, now Lonnie with a liner caught. Nope, he short hopped it. They'll throw him out, 1 away. And that will bring up Jose Ramirez. You know, this is an Indians team that came into tonight's game with the best run differential in all of baseball. They were plus 207 in run differential. The closest team to them was the Dodgers, and the Indians were 39 runs better than the Dodgers.
You know, it wasn't long ago the Dodgers were way ahead of the Indians. They had a 70-run differential. The Dodgers were on top of the Indians August 28th.
That doesn't seem right.
That's a 100-run difference.
And you're talking about what, 13 days?
Yeah, all wins for the Tribe and pretty much all losses for the Dodgers.
Span of 2 weeks. Wow. Jose Ramirez has tortured Brad Ausmus and the Tigers. In the air, should be deep enough. Jones will make the catch. Lindor will tag. The throw is not in time. 5-0 Cleveland. Ramirez with RBI number 71.
The second.
The 8th man to bat in the inning is Edwin Encarnacion. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball down and away. One ball, 2 strikes.
Same count it was last inning when Encarnacion was hitting. He ended up working and getting a base hit to left field.
In the dirt, full count.
Right now, Jay with 50 pitches in that arm, and he's had to struggle to get through, especially this inning. 4 hits in the inning, 5 runs in.
Popped up foul out of play. Hey, that'll give me a chance. The young man's got school tomorrow, so he might be having to get to bed early. But Owen Smith of Strongsville celebrating his 11th birthday today. His uncle, Steve Bardo, told me he struck out 7 of 8 in a Little League appearance this summer.
Happy birthday, Owen.
So he's a better pitcher than Uncle Steve already. The 3-2. Smashed to short at 8 up Machado. He stays with it, and from his knees throws out Edwin to end the inning. But boy, the Indians erupted here in the second. The first 5 all reach, all score, and the Indians have the early lead again.
Access to all of this year's postseason games. That includes the World Series. Don't get shut out. Just visit Indians.com/season tickets.
Carlos Carrasco goes to work with a 5-0 lead here in the third. He'll face the top of the order.
Well, the second time through, I'll tell you what, out of the 9 batters faced, 7 of them swang at the first pitch, trying to stay aggressive. They know they faced him now. This is his 6th start of the year, so they have a pretty good idea what he's throwing, and that tells me that, boy, this guy's got good stuff, and they don't want to get to 2 strikes.
Down low, 2-0. And a base hit. Kinsler takes a big turn, but he'll hold right there. Greg Allen with a good throw back into second base, and Ramirez quickly fired on to first.
Second straight inning they've had their leadoff man aboard. Allen cuts it off and get it in a hurry. Kinsler was thinking, heads up, we got a young kid out there playing, let me see if I can get to second, but he rounded the bag about a third of the way, but he's able to get back.
Alex Presley struck out his first time up. And a strike to the outside corner. Whew. That was a fastball, and I'm not sure what Presley's state of mind was on that swing.
Well, watch the movement on the fastball, and he's proven to these hitters that thing just takes off. He's thrown some good changeups tonight already too, the left-handed hitters, and his breaking ball, he's getting swings and misses on. There's the changeup.
Just kind of threw the bat at it. He grounds out. Kinsler moves into scoring position.
You know, take a look at some of Carlos's changeups early into this game, and that sets it. You can see how he holds it. It's almost like a little splitter. You can see the downward movement, the rotation. Look at, boy, when it starts right there, it's going to be below the knees by the time you swing it. So, and he goes out there, and he said many times after starts, you know, sometimes it's a changeup, sometimes it's his slider. His last time out was his slider was unbelievable.
When you're a starting pitcher and you know you're going to be out there 5-6 innings, especially when you're someone of the stature of a Carrasco, a Kluber, you're going to be out there trying to get deep into the game. I wonder how often, maybe you don't have the feel for that pitch early, but somewhere along the line you start to find it and you can work it back into the mix.
The good ones do. It was like Bauer last night. He didn't have his curveball early, and then he eventually kept going to it. You know, he's going to go to it. That's his go-to pitch now. And Carrasco is going to find a way to either get that slider back, or he's going to have a vicious changeup. But it all stems off their fastballs. So you've got to command the fastball. But sometimes it's different when you go out there every 5 days. You may bring out a good slider or changeup out of the bullpen, and it doesn't translate into the game.
Now the 1-1. Shot the fastball outside and missed.
You know, Carrasco's been unbelievable on the road. 10 wins, 10-2 on the road, and his ERA is about 2 runs better on the road than it is at home. He's 4-4 at home with a 4.64, 10-2 with a 2.71 on the road.
That's just foul up the first base line. I don't know that Carlos has spent much time thinking about that. I know Andre asked him about it, and you know, it's one of those things you can't figure it out. You know, he does the same routine. He tries to have the same success. But
look at that. That's career. For whatever reason, I can't figure it out. These guys are always routine oriented now, no matter how they go about it. Same thing every day.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out. Boy, Carlos Carrasco with his 5th strikeout already here tonight.
There it is, the changeup again, and he gets Cabrera to swing at it, and right into the glove of Gomes.
Let's go down to Andre.
Well, what's funny is I hear you guys have the conversation about Carlos Carrasco. He and I have spoken a lot over the last few weeks about pitching when he doesn't have his best stuff. I've heard you say it a number of times where you got to do it. He's most proud this year that he can now go out there and not have his slider, not have his change, and still go 6 or 7 innings as he did a couple outings ago. And he says it's helped him when he has all of his stuff be a better pitcher, like in his last outing.
Popped him up. Out goes Ramirez. He calls off Greg Allen and makes the catch. Carrasco works around another leadoff hit. Middle of the 3rd, Cleveland 5, Detroit 0. During the game for Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Speaking of Miller time, it was great to see Andrew Miller out on the field today, throwing a simulated game before the Indians took the field for batting practice. Andre Knott's going to have an update here for us in a moment. Jay Bruce steps in to lead off the home half of the third, and the pitch is up and away, ball one. Bruce flied to left to end the first inning with a couple of men on base.
Had a good at bat though, falling off a lot of pitches.
Hits that pretty well. Center field. Jacoby Jones able to run it down. One away. So the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Really, I mean, just awful news for Bradley Zimmer. A kid came up, was playing so hard, playing so well, and on the headfirst slide got stepped on, and he's got a broken bone, and he's done for the rest of this season. Kip working in center field today before the game. Andrew Miller with a sim game. Andre Andrews has the latest.
Yeah, there we go. Andrew said he felt great. Tito told me that they're going to have a conversation tomorrow. He wanted him to cool off after he pitched today, and he hadn't had a chance to talk to him yet. There's a chance that the next time he pitches, it'll be in a regular game.
Wow.
If he didn't come out of it all right, they'll give him one more sim game, and then he'll be back on the roster. Remember, he says he wants 5 or 6, appearances before he's where he feels he'll be good for the playoffs. The Kip thing, it wasn't big news to Kip. He said he's just willing. The one thing that Kip told me, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be a part of this team. He goes, I can see what's going on. I don't want to mess it up. And when we saw what happened with Bradley last night, he goes, when Tito called me to come into his office this morning, he goes, I had a feeling that may be what it is, and he hopes it's like riding a bike because he did do it in college, and we'll just have to see. And he's close, by the way. He told me he's basically fighting the trainers at this point, which means he's close.
Smashed up the middle. Kinsler has a kick off his glove. He recovers, but not in time. It nails Santana, and he goes down in a heap. Oh, my goodness.
That's after he hit first base and was going past. That throw got away, and it looked like it got him on the side of the head.
Wow. I'm hoping it caught the helmet. Not.
Yeah, he looks okay. He looks okay. Just a shock. You don't expect to get hit by anything after you pass first base. He hustled to beat it out. He did a nice job. Just give him a minute there and see what happens.
James Quinlan, head athletic trainer, out there checking out Santana. He's got a smile on his face. That's a good sign. He's all right, it appears.
Now that's going to go as an error on Kinsler. On the backhanded side, didn't catch it cleanly, had to pick it up and then make the throw, and in the rush threw it wildly. And there's Tito out there talking to him. He said, you're not going to get this guy out of the lineup.
If I was Santana, I would petition the umpires. Hey, I should get second base just because I took one in the head on the throw.
Let's see where it gets him. He beats it out, and then there's the throw. Oh, it hit him on the shoulder, the back of the helmet. Okay, I thought it caught him on the side of the face.
That's what I was worried about.
But look at, he turned his head, man. He was smart, and that's what you do when you run to first base. After you pass first base,
I'm gonna tell you guys something. Have the cameras on Frankie and crew when they go out.
No.
They saw what happened. They all go, that didn't hurt.
Well, thank goodness he's okay and they can laugh about it. Here's Yandy Diaz. And a strike called.
See, now he's talking to the trainer. He wants a full medical report before he does anything.
That's exactly right.
I know.
So
he's doing his homework.
Make sure he's not hurt and anything's wrong.
Everything okay, Doc? Yeah, it hit him in his shoulder in the back of the helmet.
Okay, so we can abuse him?
Yes. Thank you for telling me.
Oh, poor Carlos.
Well, I knew one thing. You're not getting him out of the lineup. This guy posts every single day.
Speaking of the lineup, we're talking about Andrew Miller throwing a sim game today.
Yeah.
The hardest thing they had today was finding people to
want to hit,
get in the box against him.
Yeah. Well, you need hitters that'll go up there and at least
Kipnis got in there. God bless him.
Gonzalez
left-handed, and Eric Gonzalez. I don't think anybody else. No thanks. You know what? I got a little thing. I got a little sore. They were bailing left and right.
Next thing you know, you and Andre will be in there with catcher's gear on trying to hit him.
Better not stand around here too long. I might get drafted. There's the 1-2 now. Chopper between third and short. It's cut off by Candelario. And he'll throw out Diaz, 2 down. Santana into scoring position. Now we had our cameras rolling when Andrew Miller went out. Pitched his simulated game. Looked like it had the same old filthy movement.
I don't know if they're going to show it, but you know who ended up getting a double off of him? Jason Kipnis got up there. He said he fouled the ball off. He stepped out and he told Miller, "That's the best I've ever hit against you. I quit." Next pitch, he hit a double off the wall.
Yeah, I saw that one because I said, well, he's ready to go. So the good news is that Andrew came through that. At least when he walked off, everything seemed great. Seemed like he felt good. He was ready to go.
Well, that's a big. You get him back. That's going to be great. I would love to see him come back and get ready to go to work his way into postseason.
And a pitch down and away.
Because as this streak has gone on for the Indians, Cody Allen has 5 saves in the 18 games. So they haven't had to rely on anybody, and they spaced it out, and everybody's gotten a lot of work. They haven't had to burn anybody out, and it's been great.
1-0 pitch. But you just talked about it. During the win streak of 18 games, 11 times they've had 10 or more hits. 12 times they've scored 5 runs or more. And you gave the numbers earlier. They're giving up less than 2 a game.
Yeah, they had 5 shutouts and a couple other games where they've only scored 1 run or given up 1.
So there haven't been save situations really in a lot of the games. Line to short, and it's caught by Machado. We've played 3. It's the Indians 5 and the Tigers nothing. Carlos Santana between innings.
Well, that's right now. There's still a little ball game left.
Right.
That's for starters. They're baiting them.
Fourth inning, Jamer Candelario takes a breaking ball for a strike. And a strike called, 0-2. In the left field, coming hard, Lonnie Chisnall can't get to it. And plays it on a hop. Another leadoff single, 3 innings in a row for Detroit.
This is Bradley Zimmer going down the line last night as he dives into first base. Looked like that left hand got stepped on, and he also, that head took a big bounce, and it looked like the helmet might have caught him above the eye. Or he hit it, but boy, that's, you know, a little broken bone in the hand there. He's going to be done for the year. And I know I've heard everybody talk, oh, that's why you can't go head first into first base. You got to understand that's the way that kid plays a game. He goes diving in the outfield, he runs into walls, and it's unfortunate. He's going to have to learn hard. You know, that's tough to learn right there. That's just the way he plays the baseball game.
Tito completely disagrees with people that say you can't slide head first into first base. He said very easily that could have been his foot or ankle that was stepped on.
I know it.
He said some plays it just happens. He goes, he has no problem with his aggressiveness at this point in time.
Well, if you remember, Andre, he had a couple of base hits that way this year where it was fine, and everybody said it's great hustle. The minute you get hurt, now it's a bad play.
And that's what we've heard a lot of today. He said that was a conversation. He said he had that conversation with Zimmer. He said, don't think like that. Keep playing the way you've been playing.
I've been telling people that that's his DNA, man.
That's how he got here.
Exactly. He only knows one way, and it's full throttle. And that's the way he goes about the game, and you love him for it. Everybody does. It's just unfortunate now. He's going to have to sit and watch the rest of the way after he was a big part of this. That's the learning process of it.
James McCann singled in the left field his first time up. Well, he tied him up with a great pitch right there, and that's a half-dozen strikeouts.
Change up, man. He's throwing it to the righties today to keep him off that change or the slider away. And watch the movement going down and in. You can see he had to dig it out. He needed a shovel to get that pitch out. It just kept running in and in. And it was off the plate. Great pitch to get the strikeout. Number 6.
And it brings up Tyler Collins. Struck out his only time up. Swings and fouls it out of play.
Once again, Carlos Carrasco pounding the strike zone. 14 of 16 first pitch strikes.
The 0-1. Up the gut and a line drive single for Tyler Collins. First time the Tigers have had 2 hits in an inning.
Well, this was hit very hard. There was another little change up away, it looked like. He left it up a little bit and hit it right past Lindor. So 5 hits now for Detroit.
Jacoby Jones struck out in the second inning. And it's down low. Jones 3 for 16 against the Indians this year. Big chopper off the plate. Ramirez will go to first, 2 down. Candelario to third and Collins to second.
Ball hit too high off the plate or out in front of the plate, and that was Ramirez's only play. Well, send along some birthday wishes tonight. Deanie Murphy out in Louisville, Ohio, celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday. Charles Nemec of Strongsville is turning 92. Carl Schnell of Westlake 75. And Jenny Derlia of Warren is 99. Happy birthday to you all.
Ferris Ohl celebrated his 103rd birthday last night.
Oh my goodness, happy birthday, Ferris.
Been an Indians fan his whole life. And I told his daughter Vicky, unfortunately, we won't be doing the game Sunday, but we'll be sure to get those birthday greetings out. Right now, Carlos Carrasco trying to extinguish a potential Tiger rally here with 2 down in the 4th. They have 2nd and 3rd. Indians up 5-0. Hits are even right now at 5 apiece. And the 0-2 pitch is lined to left. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch. Middle of the 4th. Cleveland 5, Detroit 0.
Second straight Central Division title with games through Sunday this week here at the ballpark. Great tickets remain. You can grab a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio or a $15 KeyBank Kids ticket. Online only. Visit Indians.com.
We go now to the bottom of the 4th, and Greg Allen will lead it off. In on the grass at 3rd is Candelario. And Greg chops at the first base. Cabrera backs up, quick flip, 1 away. Our great clip of the game from last night. Frankie Lindor only brings 2 bats out for every game. He had broken both of them. He went back to the dugout. Abe Almonte says, "Here, use mine." And Frankie said, "Hey, I like this bat."
He did after the result. Look at that. Throw him anything. Yeah, it's not the bow and arrow, man. It's the Indian.
I'll tell you what, he's having a special year. Sitting on 29 home runs. And we were talking about this before we came on the air. It's not a real long list of shortstops in baseball who've hit 30 home runs in a season.
Right. And when you even get a little more finer than that at 23 years old.
Yeah. You know, a switch hitter.
You know, you got guys like A-Rod and Cal Ripken, and let me think. There's a Nomar Garcia-Parra, Miguel Tejada, some really good shortstops. But you're right, that's a position where it's all defense first.
Yep.
Not with this guy.
And as you pointed out, at age 23, he's just scratching the surface.
Right.
I mean,
He's only going to get better.
Kept the hands back, and that ball skipped past Kinsler. And Frankie has his second hit of the night.
Yeah, he kept the hands back. That's really good. He was fooled on the pitch, but able to keep your hands back. That's why if your body goes forward and you're fooled, you have nothing to get it through. But when your hands are back and you're fooled, you can keep that bat through the hitting area, and that pitch is down. That's a ball. For him to hit it that hard and get it past the infielder into the outfield, that's a really good job. So you give him his second straight hit.
Just to clarify on the Abe Almonte bat last night, Matty, they have different bats, but they're the same size, the same handle type. The bat Abe threw to him was a bigger handle than he was used to and heavier.
Right.
So when Lindor grabbed it, he said, "This isn't what I want." But he said, "All right, I'll go up there and see what I can do with it." And it worked out that way. But that wasn't the bat he thought he was going to get from Abe. But he knew at that point in time, Austin Jackson was running back to get other bats. He had to go up there with that bat, and he said, "The heck with it."
Doesn't matter.
So it was or wasn't Abe Almonte's bat?
It was Abe's bat, but it wasn't the Abe bat that Frankie thought he was going to get from him.
I got you.
Abe uses two different bats. Remember, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
From left side, right side, he uses two different bats.
Okay.
Well, Abe just grabbed one thinking Frankie liked all of his. He threw him the heavier bat that Frankie didn't want.
Until he hit that ball out.
Until it went out the park. Went pretty far, too. Maybe
yeah, it did. No kidding.
A little more
You know,
weight.
as a hitting coach, when Eddie Murray was there, you believed in using a heavier bat. And I think one guy bought into it, which was Coco Crisp back in the day. And a lot of guys used heavier bats. Nowadays, they believe in the bat speed and 31 ounces, and they like it light.
The 0-1.
And it's funny because they're bigger and they're stronger. You would think that they could swing a little heavier bat. And you used to get better wood with the heavier bat.
And this wouldn't surprise you, but a lot of guys would pick up Eddie's bat when he was still playing, and they think, "My God."
Oh yeah, it's like a lead bat that you swing on the on deck. Rico Cardi and those guys used to be like that. I mean, they were so big and strong, and I mean, they'd use 36-ounce bats.
Yeah.
You pick them up, it would be like a lead bat.
You'd hear guys joking around, about taking batting practice, and somebody said, "Give one Eddie Murray's bat," just to see if they could slip one by somebody. Like, no.
Don't do it in batting practice because they're throwing. You can hit it. You can see how it feels. Or you could also choke up if it's a little bit heavier too.
2-1 pitch pulled foul. I want to say it was Danny Peoples, but I could be wrong.
He was a #1 draft pick for the Indians.
And the first time he came here after he signed, he hadn't even been in the minor leagues yet. They just brought him here. He signed, let him take batting practice. They handed him Eddie Murray's bat, and he's like, couldn't even hardly swing it, like through the. Guys were laughing, thinking it was really funny.
It is. Here, kid, swing this.
Yeah, we all use this. This is the 2-2 pitch. Lonnie pops it high and foul and out of play.
Well, and sometimes the lighter bats, they split, in the wood with the grain. It all depends. And I'm sure, Andre, you hear it all the time. The better player, the better wood you get, right? With the bigger names.
Yes.
That's what those guys all believe.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that was the reason why Jose Ramirez started taking all of Frankie's
Right,
bats.
I remember you saying that. Yes.
Jose swore, even though they got the same
get the best
bats
wood.
for him, he got the best wood. So he kept taking Frankie's bats, and Frankie said, "All right, that's enough. I need them."
I know.
Well, and then you've got Lonnie Chisenhall. We talked a lot about this during spring training. He uses that axe-handled bat, so that's something different. There are more bat manufacturers now than when you played. You might have had a couple of companies to choose from.
Yeah, Rawlings and a Louisville. They're all over the board now.
The 2-2. Strike 3 call. A off-speed pitch from Miles J, and that's just his second strikeout of the night. But there are 2 down now here in the 4th.
It's a backdoor breaking ball. Lonnie thought it might have wrapped around the plate a little bit. He didn't like it, but he's going to have to take the walk back.
2 down now for Jose Ramirez. Here's the pitch, and Ramirez jolts it deep right and gone. The man with more extra base hits than anybody in the league has just belted his 26th homer. 79 extra base hits on the year for Jose Ramirez, and it's now 7-0 Cleveland.
And his assault on Detroit pitching continues. That looked like a little cutter or slider inside, and he knew it. It was right down the line. That ball's not hooking. 3 ribbies on the night, give him 73 on the year.
Now Edwin. Breaking ball, and the bat went flying out toward Miles J. And Edwin says, my bad.
He's fooled on that breaking ball. He threw it, and he's throwing the bat.
$19 home runs for the Indians in 17 games against Detroit. After that 2-run shot by Ramirez with 2 down here in the 4th. And there's a high towering fly ball to center. Jones and Castellanos, the ball drops. And there's a miscommunication with a youngster and a veteran who's trying to mix his way into the outfield.
Yeah, well, Castellanos has to get out of the way, and they play deep. The center fielder's the captain. Look, he's not even going to talk to him now. He called for it, and Castellanos wouldn't get out of the way. Look at, he's got it. He's got it. So as an outfielder, get out of the way. And he called for it for plenty of time. Castellanos, that's his fault. That's just a mistake. He's an infielder trying to play outfield. Because he called it once, he thought it's his ball, but you got to take a peek. You see, notice how his eyes never left the ball. So that's going to go as an error and a learning experience.
And Jay Bruce with 2 down.
And who'd they give the error to? Probably the center fielder. Yeah, he called it. He gets the error.
It was a good defensive play by Castellanos to knock the ball away, though.
It was. Well, I mean, that goes to show you communication plays. It plays out there.
You've played the position. Don't you think the scorer should give the error to the guy who messed it up, which is Castellanos?
Well, you would think so, because I guess it's because it went off of Jones's glove.
But his glove got knocked by. I mean, it might even been closed by.
Might have had a defensive holding, and he would have had 2 foul shots.
It's pass interference. I'm telling you, he was there before the ball got there.
Well, that's where I think in baseball there should be a team error, just for situations like that.
In the dirt,
as opposed to giving it to one guy out of the 2 that made the mistake.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a communication breakdown. But that's what you're going to have to do when you're starting over, and you're going to have to teach on the job at this level. If you want him to play out in the right field, someone's going to meet him in the dugout as soon as he comes in, and they should have a talk with him about it. Get out of the way if your center fielder calls for it.
With Jay Bruce patiently waiting him out here. It's 3-1 now. Pulls it foul. Edwin's at second base with 2 down in the inning. 2 runs already in here in the 4th. And the payoff pitch is pulled foul again. Carlos Santana waiting on deck, could get an opportunity to bat here in the inning. Detroit has some action in the bullpen. This will be pitch number 85 for Miles J. And now the 3-2. Ball 4. And that's going to be it for Miles J. Brad Ausmus makes the call. And Jay goes 3 2/3 innings. And he's charged with 7 runs on 7 hits. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Zach Reininger will be coming on when we come back. Indians in front 7-0. Stay tuned for Buckeye Weekly. Can't wait to hear what James Laurinaitis has to say about the effort against Oklahoma as the Sooners went into the horseshoe and beat Ohio State. It's all coming up tonight after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. New pitcher Zach Reininger, right-hander, on for the 5th time this year. And he'll be facing Carlos Santana, who walked and scored in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 3rd. Tigers have already committed 2 errors tonight. The 2nd of which kept this inning alive. It should have been over a while ago, but it ended the night for Miles J after he walked Jay Bruce. And now Santana with a chance to really inflict some more damage. Breaking ball in the dirt. Carlos Santana, 5 hits in his last 10 at bats.
Yeah, usually one thing you never want to do against a good ball club is give them extra outs. The minute you do, you take advantage of it. And right now, when you're down 7-0, you can't afford to do anything wrong.
To a pitch. Santana shoots at the left. Collins racing in. He makes a basket catch to end the inning. But Jose Ramirez slugs his 26th homer of the year. And the Indians now lead it 7-0. Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Cleveland Clinic, Express Care online. Download it now for free. Cleveland with a 7-0 lead over Detroit. Trying to secure a 19th consecutive victory. And knock that magic number to clinch the division championship down to 6.
That's scary, isn't it?
Twins are off tonight.
Well, going through the lineup for the third time. First time through, Carrasco 35 pitches. Second time through, 27. A little more efficient.
Right at the third baseman, Yandy Diaz. High throw, but Santana stays on the bag, 1 down.
It's those new white shoes.
Carlos White Shoes Santana. Carlos Carrasco has struck out 6 already tonight. He struck out 3 in a row after a leadoff single in the second inning.
I'll tell you, the changeup's been really a dynamite pitch to the right-hander, so he's thrown it down and in. I mean, his slider was outstanding last time. I think his changeup's better than his slider tonight, but they're both good. Don't get me wrong.
No, but I know what you're saying. He got a feel for that changeup early, and he just kept throwing it.
Yeah.
It's working. You stay with it.
And his fastball has nice run to it as well tonight. For Carlos, 8 outs on 3 pitches or less, which is always nice to go with your 6 strikeouts. He has walked 1 today. That's a rarity for him.
But that was Miguel Cabrera, and that was 2 outs in the first. And I almost could see where he was saying, I'm going to make him swing at my pitcher. I'm not going to give in to him.
I understand, but I'm saying that after the 3 starts prior to this, there was no walks and 25 strikeouts coming into this game. So you give him 31 strikeouts and 1 walk in his last 4 games.
Alex Presley has struck out, grounded out. Down in the dirt, 2-2. 48 of the 68 pitches Carlos Carrasco has thrown tonight have been strikes. So he has been in attack mode from the outset. Line to left.
It's a good job and a nice at bat there by Alex Presley. Get himself a base hit, take it the other way.
Well, the Tigers have had a hit in every inning.
Yeah.
Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Snowball Express in their commitment to providing hope and new happy memories to the children of our fallen heroes while on active duty since 9/11. Snowball Express provides an annual life-changing event to make each child feel special as we remember the lives of their parents. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn how you can help. And Miguel Cabrera almost got hit by the pitch. It was a breaking ball, but it was bearing in on him.
Like a backup breaking ball. Well, he got out of the way. He's looking away, and then all of a sudden you see him a double clutch on the. He thought it was coming at him until he realized the spin of that ball. I remember, was it this year, early in the year, where the first pitch was up and in the first inning, and he made a big stink about it, and there was guys issued warnings in the first inning of a game.
Oh man, that was 95, and that was in tight.
Up and that ball's taken off. It's been running that way all night. Gomes wanted it away.
And that fastball just missed off the outside corner. Now it's 3-0. Off-speed pitch drops in, and it's 3-1. So you've seen a breaking ball inside off the plate. You've seen a fastball that undressed him, a fastball away. And now he just kind of flipped a breaking ball over there.
Curveball.
Chopped foul, third base side. Full count. Does his hitting mind work differently, knowing that the people around him are different too?
I'm sure it does. He knows how pitchers are going to pitch him. He's got a yes, he does. He's brilliant. I'm sure he does. We've seen it go on for years. I mean, it helps more. He knows he may not get pitches to hit, and the ones you do, you better put them in play.
Swung on and missed.
He came back to get him. That's unbelievable. Wow. Look out. That's a nice comeback by Carrasco. And I'm telling you, that was a filthy slider right there for his 7th strikeout. Second time tonight he's been able to get Cabrera. But watch where the location is here. After backing him off the first 2 pitches, the next thing you know, that's a changeup.
A changeup at 91?
Yes, it was. Depending on the split on that finger, that's the second time changeups he's been able to get him twice tonight. Great location.
Now Nick Castellanos looks at the ball in the dirt. Castellanos had a 2-out double in the first. He didn't hit it hard. He hit it off the end of the bat, but he pulled it down the left field line and it landed right on the chalk. He popped him up with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position to end the 3rd inning. Out of play, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, we talk about this homestand. Detroit will be in tomorrow night and also Wednesday at noon. And then to wrap up this homestand, Kansas City will come in for a 4-gamer. Friday, Saturday,
Thursday, Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday, Sunday,
and Friday night. Saturday's the day game, or 4 o'clock, I believe, and then Sunday day game.
Shattered bat. Lindor has to hurry, and he gets the force at second. Halfway through, Indians 7, Tigers nothing. Lead the Tigers, and here in the bottom of the 5th, bottom 3rd of the order due up for Cleveland. Carlos Carrasco spinning a shutout through 5.
Yeah, Carrasco trying to get a season high 15th win tonight. He'll join Kluber, who has 15. Of course, Bauer now with 16.
Yandy Diaz takes a fastball in off the plate. Yandy singled and scored in the second, grounded out back in the third inning. Fastball in tight. 2-1 to count. The crowd that has turned out here tonight has been in full lather and making a lot of noise as the Indians came out early and jumped to a 5-0 lead in the second inning as Yandy Diaz has his second hit of the night. And here's a look at what you may have missed earlier in our Toyota in-game recap. The first 5 all reached in the second inning, and they all scored. Yan Gomes started the party with an RBI single. And then with the bases loaded, Lindor cleared him. A 3-run triple. He would come home on a sacrifice fly. It was 5-0. And then in the fourth, Jose Ramirez. His league-leading 79th extra base hit of the year, home run number 26. And Carrasco has made it stand up to this point. Yan Gomes had the RBI single in the second inning, and then in the third, he hit the ball right on the screws, too. It was a line drive, but it was hit right at the shortstop Machado to end the inning. The 1-1. Fouled right back.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier both these catchers, both Perez and Yan Gomes, feeding off one another through this 18-game winning streak. They have 22 RBIs between them. Gomes got his 10th in his first at-bat. Both hitting well over 300. They both have 3 home runs, so 6 homers in that stretch. And really, the bottom part of the lineup has had a lot to do with it as well. I mean, spark innings or spark leads.
Slow chopper to short. The throw is offline, and Gomes beats it out.
Yeah, Machado had to take one extra step trying to get that ball out, and it's going to be a base hit. He comes in on the dead run, and you know what? Watch the transfer. He comes in, there it is, and one extra step right there. By the time he couldn't get it off, and it enabled Gomes to beat it out. So it's back-to-back singles here. And look at, you stretch, you smell that hit.
I think he's safe even if the ball, even if Cabrera doesn't come off the base. I think he beats that out anyway. But you're right, Arch, and I think that's why the offense has been so good, is that they've had contributions from all different parts of the lineup.
Yes, the bottom part, man, they've gotten a lot of the rallies going early in games. When you talk about like the second inning, and we go back and say when the Indians lead after 2, well, a lot of times that's the bottom part of the lineup doing it. Not always, but I mean, when the bottom part helps you guys out, the normal guys. Earlier in the year, it was almost like if Lindor or Ramirez didn't do it, it didn't get done.
On the year, when the Indians lead after 2 innings, they're 48-7.
There you go. And they had a 5-0 lead after 2 tonight.
Greg Allen with 2 on and nobody out.
And it was his bunt back in the second inning that really jump-started it, you know, to put it into the gear after Gomes' base hit. He bunted and forced the issue. The pitcher couldn't make the play. Jay couldn't make the play. He tried to rush it. Game sped up on him, and it ended up having a big inning. That led to the 3-run RBI triple by Lindor. talking about, you know, a lot of this offense and how good the pitching was. I don't know if you noticed, but they're back in first place for defense, you know, as far as fielding percentage too.
Yeah.
66 errors, so that's going along with the pitching. You're playing great defense, even though you got different guys out there every day.
Yeah, I mean, unless you got a bunch of hacks out there. If you have good defenders, they're going to play even better when the pitching's on, because you're involved in every pitch. Yeah, you're not standing around there wondering if the ball's ever going to be hit to me or taken all the way. It's 3-1. Because of how well the Indians have played, we have seen some half innings where the other team seems like they've been standing out there forever.
Yes. Well, they have. I'll tell you what, when we were in Detroit that 4-game series for the day-night doubleheader and then the rest of the weekend, time of possession, they really spent a lot of time on the field.
They dominated the clock. Nobody out. And the payoff pitch to Greg Allen. He smokes it. Deep center. Back is Jones on the warning track. Leaps and makes a great catch up against the wall. And the ball gets away. Yandy Diaz went and tagged at second.
That was
and
good.
moves to
Good
third.
job. Good on him. He felt that ball was going to stay in play with nobody out. Let me go back and tag up. And then Gomes can go to second base. That's fine, because if he doesn't catch it, then he's got a chance to score. He makes the catch, so Yandy sees it, but this throw coming in from Jones was going to nowhere, where the pitcher he was circling. Good. He looked at Gomes. Gomes did the right thing trying to go. Yandy did the right thing tagging up. Now a fly ball will get him home. That's good base running.
And so with one out, Frankie Lindor, who's already had a 3-run triple and a single. He has scored twice. '76 runs batted in on the year for Lindor. Chopped to second. Kinsler goes to second. There's one. They will not turn the double play, and it's 8-0 Cleveland. Give Lindor his 4th run batted in of the night. 77 on the year. Hey, time now for a game break. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's go to Citi Field, where the Rays game was moved. They're the home team tonight because of Irma. This one's been all Yankees. Todd Frazier, his 24th home run here. This is a 3-run shot. 5-1, Yankees lead the Rays at Citi Field. Now, that's what that fan thinks. All Yankees, though, so far, fellas.
Thanks, Al. He's either a Mets fan who doesn't like the Yankees playing there, or he's a Rays fan. I think the former rather than the latter. Boy, the hurricane season has just, in addition to the devastation it's caused, it's created some scheduling and some logistical issues for a number of teams.
Yeah.
Even last night I was watching a football game, and during the day, not last night, but during the day, they were saying Jacksonville was in Houston. It's a Texans' first game since Hurricane Harvey, and the Jaguars weren't sure that they were going to be able to get home after the game because the Jacksonville airport had already been closed. It just 1-1 pitch.
Yeah, two teams that have to play each other on opening day.
Yeah,
it's got to be those two.
It's strange. And I was talking to Jay Bruce before the game, who's done a great job raising money for his hometown, and I said, how about what J.J. Watt has done for Houston?
Incredible.
He said to me, he said, J.J.'s got a little different platform than I have. But he's done a tremendous job raising money for the folks down in
27, 28 million.
It was like over 30 at one point.
Okay.
When I heard yesterday, yeah. Lonnie Chisenhall awaits the 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled over towards third. Lindor at first with 2 down.
He picks this one up off the ground. That's amazing. He could even get to that ball. It really is. McCann was back there ready to block it in the dirt, and he would have had to if Chisenhall didn't get a piece of it.
That time, no, it's in the dirt. Hit the dirt first.
Look at McCann trying to wiggle his way. He tried to get a strike, free strikeout here. He did get a piece of it, but it does go into the dirt. You can see, and then into the glove, and he was ready to head to the dugout. Got to try.
Reiniger with a 1-2 and a bouncer to second. Ends the inning. Tribe tacks on one more. We'll go to the 6th. 8-0 Cleveland.
$15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. The seats are located in the family deck near the kids clubhouse and are only available at indians.com/kids ticket.
Now, kids are having a great time that are here tonight watching the Indians continue their incredible march toward a historic win streak that continues. They've won 18 in a row, trying to make it 19 straight. The all-time mark recognized at 26 straight by the 1916 Giants. Missed in off the plate. I think more than anything, you look at just modern history, and you're talking that 2002 A's club, they won 20 in a row.
Yes, remember that one. That's how the moving money ball was paid there, right?
That's
after
right.
that 20 in a row, and now they put that team together.
Smashed into right field, and the beat goes on for the Tigers. They've had at least one hit in every inning tonight, and their leadoff man's been aboard 4 out of the 6 innings. Well, here's the best records in Major League Baseball right now. Dodgers at one point were running away with it. Nobody's going to kick. They've lost 15 out of 16. No team has ever lost 15 out of 16 games after getting to 90 wins. Probably because usually when you get to 90 wins, the season's over.
Yeah, you don't have many left.
But they got out to that point so fast, and now they've dropped 10 straight. Just got swept on a homestand. And now they get to go to their longtime rivals, the Giants, where they would love nothing better than to extend the Dodgers' misery.
Who's that? Maeda going for the Dodgers, and I think Stratton for the Giants.
Yeah. To center field. Greg Allen makes the catch. 1 down.
Every time that leadoff man was aboard tonight, back in the second after the base hit, Carrasco struck out the side. In the third base hit, got a ground ball strikeout, little pop up. In the fourth, they had 2 hits. He had a hit, strikeout, base hit, and he got out of that one. And trying to do the same thing here in the sixth. He's had 84 pitches.
Swinging a foul tip.
Tyler Collins, a guy that was with him earlier in the year, and then he was sent back to AAA and just recalled yesterday. The Tigers today 2 for 15 with runners on.
And Carrasco with a breaking ball in there for a strike. Action once again in the Detroit bullpen. Oh, 2 in the dirt. Carrasco's 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Rack up another one. Number 8 for Cookie. 2 down in the 6th.
And that is number 200 on the year for Carrasco. So he joins Kluber. And Bauer not far off with 177. How about that? 4th time in club history. Kluber, Carrasco did it in 15. Of course, you know McDowell had to be in there with El Tiante.
Swung on and missed. Jacoby Jones 0 for 2 on the night, and it's in off the plate.
It's funny, the first couple of times up it was all sliders to Jones. Now it's been changeups. Instead of, he's probably as a hitter looking for everything breaking away, and Carrasco's throwing it where he's coming in. That was the slider or a curveball. You know, occasionally that's what he takes it up. That slider can be anywhere 86, 87. But watch the grip. And this one's about 83. So that has a little more tilt to it, a little slower. That's the curveball.
Swing and a miss. Hey, got him. Number 9 for Carrasco. And 6 shutout innings. The Indians on top, 8-0. strikeouts. He's punched out 9 on the night. And the offense has put up 8 runs for him. And the third Tigers pitcher to work tonight will be right-hander Warwick Southpole. Southpole is a native of Australia. And he's on here to face Jose Ramirez, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jay Bruce. Pitched 6 games in the big leagues last year for the Tigers. This will be his 39th appearance this year. Oh, that got the bat. And Ramirez was fortunate he got his hand out of the way. No, it got him on the hand. Is that what the umpire said?
Might have hit him in the hand and then the bat.
I can't tell what the umpire signaled. It looked like he signaled to hit him on the hand.
Yeah.
Now the
second time he's been hit.
I hope he's all right.
Well, they're looking at that left arm again.
It was the Tigers that drilled him the last time in that forearm. And he's coming out of the game.
It's a 8-0 game, and it might be the same spot. I'm not sure if that's the same spot he was hit the last time. Is he's going to let go of the bat? That hit the bat first.
And then got him on the.
They may look at that. Huh?
That's crazy. That hit the bat first.
Yes, it sure did.
And then hit him on the arm.
Came back and got him on the arm.
And I can't blame Paul Emmel for not getting the call right. How could you have seen that?
Well, they're going to look at it. I mean, they're challenging it, saying it hit the bat first.
Yeah.
And it's
a great second look. And it will be Eric Gonzalez who will come back and finish the at-bat.
This can't take very long, can it?
Shouldn't take long at all. It's bizarre. I mean, it's just one of those. Indians scoring 5 times in the second inning to grab the early lead. Jose Ramirez with a sac fly, getting them their 5th run in the second. Then he hit a 2-run homer. It's 26 of the year in the 4th inning, make it 7-0. They added a run in the 5th to go up 8-0. And now Ramirez hit by a pitch, but replay showed us he was hit by a ball that carried off his bat first after he had let go of it.
Right.
And that is the correct call, foul ball. So Eric Gonzalez is going to have to go grab a bat, and he'll continue the at-bat.
Well, he's happy he gets an at-bat now.
So Ramirez, remember he got hit on the forearm earlier this year. It was against Kyle Gibson of the Twins in a doubleheader.
I do remember when he got hit there, and that hurt because he missed some time. And that's right, it was at Minnesota.
Yeah, that was mid-August. So Eric Gonzalez. Will head to the plate, and it will be an 0-1 count. Tell you what, this young man has done a terrific job in the opportunities that he's had. His last 43 games from June 1st on, he's hit 292. And he smashes one at fairly deep center, but Jones will make the catch. And there's out number 1.
You're not going to get many over the heads of the outfielders of the Detroit Tigers. If you do, you're going to be trotting around the bases.
They're playing that 2 deep safety.
They're very deep, yes. Well, you could tell the way last inning ended when Collins had to come sprinting in, to catch that ball. I mean, on the dead sprint, and that was just a little pop-up off the bat of Santana.
Edwin Encarnacion singled in the first, grounded out in the second, and then reached in the fourth on an error on a ball that was lifted to right center field, but Nick Castellanos is trying to learn the outfield. He knocked Jacoby Jones off course as he was calling for it and trying to make the catch. The error was given to Jones, but I contend the error should be given to Castellanos because he ran into him. And that's part of that, as you said, that's part of the learning curve. You got a guy in the middle of the season, you're trying to give him some opportunities out there to see if that would open up a chance for some younger guys on the infield.
Well, people say, oh, you can go out there and it's easy to hear him. It's different. When you're not used to playing a position at the major league level, you're under a microscope, and when something like that happens, he didn't never take his eye off the ball, but he's not an outfielder, so you don't expect him to know. He called for it as Jones was calling for it. The center fielder's always the captain. So he's going to learn.
Edwin,
that's something he'll learn today.
Draws a walk. Down to Andre we go.
All right, I'm going to need you guys to work with me. We have a mini ball, but I got to tell you a quick story. Ramirez is down here, just got hit. The only thing he cared about was whose at bat that was. I had to tell him it was a Gonzalez's at bat. All right, now check out this one. Now, this number 32, it's who's at bat. This is the new Jay Bruce mini ball. And if you're trying to figure out what exactly is going on here, let's go over to see how Jay adjusts his bat. I told you these guys pay attention to every little thing guys do.
Yeah.
So basically, this is how he adjusts his bat and drops his bat right there. That's what they have.
The hand goes up.
The hand goes up.
Oh, that
so
is.
So you come back after this pitch and see. It's all right. What they just did there with this.
So the hand goes up.
The hand goes up and it comes
snapshot.
back down. So that's what they did with Jay Bruce to get his mini ball done quickly.
They've got his head cocked to the side.
Yep.
It kind of gives you that little shimmy.
You got it. Here it is. Right hand. Yep.
And I remember when he first came over, traded over here, he was always wearing red sleeves when we were on the road. Maybe that's why those things are red.
Well, that's what they said, that this started making them pay attention to guys closely because they said everyone's different. And they wanted to make every ball a little bit different. And we've seen it now with Tyler Olson earlier this week, past weekend, and now this
different arms, yeah.
The different arm slots. They've done work like no other team. And by the way, I think I saw the Milwaukee Brewers doing a ball like this a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah?
Cookie and Trevor both said to me, everybody wants to be us now. I wonder why.
Three on the right side of the infield for Detroit, and Jay Bruce takes a fastball strike. It's 2-1. It's funny, there are probably things you do even as a ball player, even as routine oriented as you are. I wonder if he realizes he does that every single time.
That's comfort, man. That's what makes him relax. Or it loosens, keeps him loose, keeps that bottom hand on the bat.
Like we asked Edwin about the bat, sniffing the bat. He said he didn't realize he even did it. There's some things you just do and you don't realize maybe sometimes. I do that?
Yeah, habits.
Abraham Almonte running for Edwin. Foul out of play. Encarnacion holding court with Francisco Mejia, the youngster. Again, Jay Bruce fouls it back. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out here in the 6th. Indians up 8-0. Now Eric Gonzalez joins the fray. Now the 3-2, and that's ball 4. So Jay Bruce draws a walk. Back-to-back walks with 1 out here in the 6th. All right, now watch. This is back in Minnesota, and that's the right wrist that he gets nailed on. And now here tonight, he lets go of the bat, and it nails him on the left wrist.
That's
the forearm,
amazing how it hit that bat first, and then it goes into his arm. That I don't know if I've seen that before.
So Warwood Southpole has created a dilemma for himself here. 2 on, 1 out. And now he'll face Carlos Santana. Pitch down low. Tyler Naquin is now running for Jay Bruce. Santana bangs it foul. The first base side. Danny Salazar, who will be working out of the bullpen the rest of the year, is getting loose, which would lead you to believe after 6 innings Carlos Carrasco's night is probably over.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
It looked like it from up here. There was a lot of bat moving. Take a look from the side. Oh yeah, he did. He got away with one there.
Good rip, but a foul back, and it's 2-2. Mentioned before, the Minnesota Twins are idle tonight, but they'll be back in action tomorrow, interleague style. Down on the dirt. San Diego will visit Target Field for a series beginning tomorrow night. The payoff pitch and a foul back. And the payoff pitch, another foul back. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat for Carlos Santana, who drew a leadoff walk in that 2nd inning that started the rally. The first 5 reached, the first 5 scored. And he walks again, and the bases are loaded on 3 straight walks here in the 6th. And Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, going to go to the mound. Well, with that 5-run 2nd inning, the Indians have now scored 276 runs this year over the first 3 innings of their games. Last year, for the whole season, they scored 264. So they've already scored more than they did all last year early in games. And when you have good pitching, and they have what has to be considered great pitching.
Yeah, they do. Yes, this year.
That's just a huge advantage. Maybe, Arch, if you don't have good pitching and you score early, it's maybe not as big a statistical landslide as it has been for the Tribe. They're 48-7 on the year when they lead after just 2 innings. So for this club to score first or score early in games,
it's a huge deal.
Big.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to make sure that your pitcher has to put zeros on the board until you can score first. And it's hard to do.
Third pinch runner of the inning for the Indians. As Brandon Guyer takes over for Santana. And now Yandy Diaz bats with the bases loaded and 1 out, and he fouls one off.
Indians are #1 in the league in walks. They've walked 5 more times tonight. They have 545 as a team.
In off the plate.
All 3 different runners that went up to the plate, that's for sure. It was Encarnacion, Bruce, and Santana. This is like spring training now.
Broken bat to Kinsler. They get 1 at second. They will not turn the double play, and another run is in. 9-0 Cleveland as Yandy Diaz will pick up his 11th RBI on the year. And a foul right back. High pop up. Cabrera makes the catch. Indians tack on 1 more. We'll go to the 7, 9-0 Cleveland. Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. And by Homerama 2.0. Presented to you by the Home Builders Association of Greater Cleveland. Back here at Progressive Field. A whole host of changes to tell you about, but we'll start with the man in the center of the diamond. The new pitcher is Danny Salazar, making his third appearance of the year out of the bullpen. Carlos Carrasco went 6 shutout innings tonight. Allowed 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 9.
Yeah, the difference in pitching staffs when you look at it, Carlos had 92 pitches, had 21 swings and misses. Detroit, after 6 innings, 140 pitches and 3 swings and misses.
Now defensively now for the Indians, Brandon Guyer goes to left. Lonnie Chisenhall moves from left field to first. Tyler Naquin is now in right. Urshela takes over at short. Gonzalez is now at second. So they got almost an entirely new defense in there. And away we go as Dixon Machado leads it off, and Salazar fastball up high.
And the only time Salazar pitched was in that Chicago game when they scored 3 in the first. He came back out and gave up 4 in the bottom half of that first. So they're going to see if they can get going. He had no command in that ball game. He couldn't command any pitch really.
Rick, I don't know if it's possible, but it would give the Indians one heck of a weapon if they could figure out a way to use Salazar out of the bullpen, though, for the postseason.
Well,
if he can harness it.
Well, he's got to pitch. He's got to get his way back. He's got to command. Throw strikes, you know, and get away. Command the fastball. You don't have to, like you're going to pitch through it. It's all up to him. You know, given the chance, they're going to give him some innings. They're going to try and work him into it. But that bullpen has been pretty good without him.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's not going to take anybody's job from the 6th inning on or anything like that. At least I wouldn't think so.
Again, it's probably just wishful thinking, but you know, to be able to have a guy that could throw 98 miles an hour, if he can command it, and that would give them something that a lot of teams would love to have.
The unfortunate thing is he was in the same boat last year, where the second half of the year he was a non-issue.
Lonnie Chisenhall, the new first baseman, makes the grab and foul ground, 1 away.
Matt, I don't disagree with the Arch. I hear where you're coming from. The reason why they're doing this, they were trying to talk Danny into doing another simulated game and then bring him back. And he said to them, the simulated games don't work for me. I need to be on the mound. I need the atmosphere. I need to find where my arm slot needs to be to throw strikes. So the team said, let's do it. And let's try to find the right way to get him 2 or 3 innings and see where it goes. I will say this, Arch. Last year, and I know the situation and circumstances were different, Tito had no problem going to the bullpen early last year because of Miller, and he said, I can't use Miller in the playoffs most likely the way I did last year this year.
Right. Oh, I'm not saying he can't help. I'm saying he's going to have to prove something before he get into that situation.
Right. Yep. No doubt. No doubt. And I think that's why he wants to be in this situation as well, because he wants to help out as well.
Well, the good news is there's well, we got 20 games,
19
18
tonight,
games
18
after
tonight, right?
So there will be some opportunities.
Well, sure, you can create opportunities.
Pop to right. Tyler Naquin. 2 down. Tune in tomorrow after the game in Indians Live for the Tribe Report presented by GMC. Alan Jensen will recap an amazing week in Indians baseball, and they'll get you up to date on everything you need to know. And believe me, there's a lot going on with regards to this ball club, with injuries and guys in and out, and who's still standing in certain spots. Those 2 guys have been dynamite all year long. And here's another thing, Rick, that I think is important for the Tribe. is the sooner they can wrap up the division and clinch their spot, then Tito can give Frankie and Jose Ramirez a breather, you know, an extended couple of days to recharge the batteries. Those guys that play every day. And they're right up there along with Carlos Santana and even Edwin, even though Edwin's mostly the DH. But those guys, you know, they're posting, playing every day.
Well, and then again, you know, when you get it and you clinch, then there's that fine line of saying, well, you know, you got to keep pushing them.
Right.
You know, where you can't rest them too much.
And as you know, it doesn't take much. A day or two is more than enough for these guys.
You got to maintain that edge. But you have the comfort of doing a lot of things that most teams can't. The earlier you can clinch. And the Nationals did yesterday.
Yeah.
They were able to clinch. They had to wait. They won their game, and they needed a Marlins loss, and they were all watching it, and it happened.
Full count to Alex Presley, who was 1 for 3 on the night. And the payoff pitch is fouled right back. Corey Kluber will go tomorrow night in Game 2 of this series. Left-hander Matt Boyd going for Detroit. Foul back. The Indians are 7 outs away from winning their 19th game in a row. And once you get to 19, there's only 3 teams ahead of them. 3-2. Up the middle, and it's through. Alex Presley with his 2nd hit of the night. And that's going to give Miguel Cabrera a chance to bat with 2 down in the inning. He's 0 for 2, has struck out twice.
First baseman Miguel Cabrera.
Swung out and missed. In the air, right field, Naquin is there. And a scoreless 7th inning for Danny Salazar. Stretch time in Cleveland. 9-0 Indians. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And Carlos Carrasco with 6 more donuts tonight.
Yeah, and 200 went over the 200 strikeout mark on the season. Had a great changeup tonight to go with his slider. He gave up 7 hits. He walked 1, struck out 9, and a good night for Carlos. And that's going to be, they hold on, a career high in wins for him. At number 15 is what he's looking for.
Joe Jimenez will be on for Detroit. Big right-hander will face the number 9 hitter Greg Allen, and then the top of the order, although it's a completely revamped Indians order, Efrain Navarro takes over at first base, and Andrew Romine is now at second.
The Indians batter, number 53,
Greg Allen 1 for 3 tonight. His bunt in the second inning really helped to set the stage. It loaded the bases up, and then Francisco Lindor followed with a 3-run triple. Now Jimenez fires, and it's up and away, ball 1.
It's the third time that Jimenez has pitched against the Indians this year. Pitched a couple innings, given up 2 hits, no earned runs yet.
I mean, he's got a good arm. That jumps out at you.
Yes.
When you watch him let it fly, and he can rush it up there, mid-upper 90s.
He was named the Tigers minor league pitcher of the year last year, 2nd consecutive season. So, you know, you got to be something special if you've been named your organization's best pitcher down there in the minor leagues for 2 straight years.
The thing that I noticed in Detroit, Rick, and it's twofold. One, a little wild, and you can't afford to walk guys when you're going to pitch mid to late innings. And how's a guy with this kind of arm, with that kind of stuff, giving up 24 hits and only 13 innings of work?
Well, that'll all come. Command. You say, you know, it's a matter of maybe him believing he belongs. Like you see a lot of pitchers come up, and this is his 3rd time he's been here this year. You know, and it seems like each time a young pitcher comes back, maybe he feels like he belongs a little bit more and feels welcome until he gets that confidence and he can take off. But the arm speaks for itself when you can throw 97.
But if you're 2-1, 3-1,
right,
enough,
and you can't throw
matter.
off speed pitches. You know, commanding those pitches are what you have to do as well. And once you climb that ladder, that's how you have to learn. You know, you can get by with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball in the minor leagues, and maybe they'll chase, and maybe they won't hit it or square it up. And you don't have to throw your breaking balls or off-speed pitches for strikes. At this level, you have to.
Ground ball to second. Nice play by Romine as he throws out Greg Allen for out number 1, and we'll send it down to Andre.
Well, obviously the Indians are talk of baseball and really sports with the win streak that they have, and we all know Terry Francona doesn't like looking back 2 weeks, as he continues to tell everyone that comes and ask him about the streak. But there's one thing that he has told me the last few days that he likes about it. He thinks it keeps these guys sharp. He thinks it gives them something to come to the park and be nervous about. Not so much a bad nervous, but something that they don't want to end. He thinks that's great for the month of September, no matter what your record is, that these guys have something else to drive them.
I agree with that.
Little incentive. Let's go, boys. Let's go. We got something to play for tonight.
So they don't get bored when they're playing a team that may have, you know, a couple guys that are AAA or AA players.
Well,
he goes, it makes every game a big game to them, and he likes that, getting ready for the playoffs.
Look, we're back in our division, and our division isn't very good this year.
I want to ask both of you guys this, because I've been asked this by a number of people in the last few days. Are the Indians peaking too early, and how do you respond to that?
I say no.
I say no because I don't think that anyone is playing out of their mind. Does that make sense? I know we go through the numbers every night, but they're all kind of playing to, you know, Corey Kluber isn't pitching out of his mind, and you know, they're all doing what they can do, right?
I think they're relaxed. I think they're playing with a confidence they have never had before. Now you get to the playoffs, you're going to play better teams, and now it's going to change the level of competition. I mean, they played just good baseball against, you know, some good teams, but a lot of bad teams too.
My thinking is they're not peaking too early. They've just finally, it's taken a long time, but they finally found who they are. They've hit their stride. They've just reached their potential.
Yes.
You know, to me, that's all it is.
I can't remember the player that told me this. They said last year the 14-game win streak made us believe that we were good. Said this year we know we're good, and this is finally with the intensity who we should be.
Yeah. There's a foul back 1-2, and I also think I would much rather have to deal with the idea of, gee, I hope we're not peaking too early, than be in Dave Roberts' position out in LA wondering, can we get it back in time before the playoffs start?
Look at it. It all depends on who's in the center of that diamond, and it revolves around that. If they continue to pitch like this, they'll stay like this throughout playoffs.
Joe Jimenez with a scoreless 7th. It's the first time tonight the Indians have gone 1-2-3. Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. It's a 9-0 Cleveland lead as we move now to the 8th inning, and yet another change for the Indians. Francisco Mejia has taken over behind the plate. And he'll be catching now Danny Salazar, who stays on for a 2nd inning of relief work. And a fastball down low to Nick Castellanos, who is 1 for 3 on the night. Foul back. Fastball was up a little bit. Castellanos took a healthy cut, but all he could do is foul it straight back.
You saw him checking back with the umpire saying, was that a strike? And he said, yes, it was.
Swung on and missed. And that's where that 97-mile-an-hour fastball can be lethal for Salazar when he's ahead in the count.
No question. You watch with his changeup, it's goofy. I mean, it can fall out of the strike zone, and we see a lot of hitters that chase it. But it's a pitch he fell in love with earlier this year. And when he came back, I'll never forget that first game he pitched when he came back and just came out and threw about 18, 19 fastballs to start that game. He was unhittable and throwing strikes.
Starts him off with a breaking ball.
And had, what do you have, 4 really good starts out there.
Yeah. He was on
and
a
then
great
had
roll.
the arm problems
and then
again. I
out
know
of
it.
nowhere, we were just all sort of blindsided by the elbow soreness.
That was in Kansas City. Came out, got roughed up, and the next thing you know, he goes back on the DL. Now, the question is, will he always have arm issues or arm problems? He has for the last few years.
Well, unless you've got a crystal ball, I don't know how you answer
well,
that. Well,
you don't. I mean, you really don't.
That's smashed to center, but right there is Greg Allen. 2 down.
Well, it's going to be Sugardale Dollar Dog Night. That'll be Friday. The Indians will host the Royals. Great tickets remain. Grab a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time or a $15 KeyBank Kids ticket. Online only. Visit Indians.com. Dollar Dogs are back Friday night.
Mustard looks like he needs a little help getting up the stairs.
Had a tough race today.
James McCann 1 for 3 tonight. Looks at a breaking ball outside. Ground ball to short. Urshela throws him out. Danny Salazar with a perfect 8. 9-0 Cleveland. Corner and right of the drink rails to the left. It's a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio and includes your first drink. You can only get them online at Indians.com, and time is obviously running out. Indians trying for their 19th win in a row. Boy, would Bob Feller be proud of this bunch.
Oh, I'm sure he's looking on right now to make sure they do. Exactly.
The way they have pitched, he would be ecstatic watching this group.
Yes, he would.
Jairo Labor is on now to throw for Detroit. Joe Jimenez, a perfect 7th. And the new catcher is Brian Holiday. Labor hails from the Dominican Republic, and that pitch is down and in, ball 1 to Eric Gonzalez. Check, but he went around. The pitch to Gonzalez, and it smashed it short off the glove of Machado. And Eric Gonzalez with an infield single to start the home half of the 8th. Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game. Second inning, bases loaded, a run in, nobody out. Boom. Lindor clearing the bases with a 3-run triple. Made it 5-0, and the Indians are off and running. Abraham Almonte to the plate.
Almonte with his first at bat tonight. .182 average from this side of the plate for Almonte and 44 at bats.
And Almonte draws a walk, and the first 2 are aboard here in the bottom of the 8th for the Indians. Let's go down to Andre Nutt.
Well, Bradley Zimmer was evaluated earlier today, this afternoon, by Dr. Graham in New York City. And Dr. Graham confirmed the presence of a left-hand 4th metacarpal fracture. He's recommending surgery as the best course of action. So Zimmer will have surgery tomorrow morning at the New York Hand and Wrist Center of Lennoxville in Manhattan. It's going to be performed by Dr. Graham. No time frame for his return has been established, but they wanted to make sure he went to New York to get it checked out by a specialist, and the same thing that they saw here, they saw in New York, guys.
All right, thank you, Andre. Pitch is way outside, ball 1 to Tyler Naquin. In the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, he's only thrown 2 strikes out of his 11 pitches to this point.
Naquin with a base hit into right field. Gonzalez will be stopped at third, and the bases are now loaded up.
Well, that's 11 hits now for the Indians. Naquin gets his first hit, takes advantage of an opportunity. They have bases loaded now, nobody out on a slider. Good pitch down in the zone. That's where he likes it. Lines the ball into right field. So another big hit performance, over 11, 9 runs on the board, and their bullpen is still throwing. Alcantara up.
Ball gets away, and that's going to bring home the Indians' 10th run of the night as Gonzalez crosses home plate on the wild pitch. To third base, Almonte. To second base, Tyler Naquin. So, Rick, to satisfy the purists, we're not going to put this in the win column yet because it's not over. But in the Indians' 18-game win streak, 11 times they've scored 10 or more. This would be 12 times.
Right.
I'm sorry, 11 times they've had 10 or more hits. So this would be 12 times they've had 10 or more hits. This would be the only twice have they been held without a home run in the 18-game win streak. And it's just 13 times they've scored at least 5 or more runs. And as we know, you look over the course of the year, when the Indians score 5 or more, they're almost unbeatable. Well, 63-6 on the year.
And they're looking for their 6th shutout in the streak. You know, not giving anything up. That's how it's been. 32 runs allowed now in game number 19, and I think they hit their 37th homer in that streak.
The fewest number of hits they've had in a game during the streak was last night. They only had 5 hits against Baltimore, but they used the home run ball to beat them. Geyer sends a long fly ball to left. That'll be caught, but tagging and coming home to score is Abe Almonte, and it's now 11-0 Cleveland. The other thing about the pitching that I saw was pretty crazy. Tonight would be 15 times, if they get through the ninth, 15 times they've given up 1 or no hits with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, that's being very stingy, isn't it?
Yandy Diaz has 2 hits. He has scored 2 runs, and he has driven in 1. Trevor Bauer. Josh Tomlin pitched really well the game we didn't televise on Saturday.
Yes, he did.
That was great to see. Strike call. Broken bat. The barrel went hurtling past the pitcher Labor, but the shortstop Machado able to throw out Diaz, and there are 2 down. Tyler Naquin to third base, and Francisco Mejia will get an at bat tonight.
Now up to bat for the Tribe, number 33, Francisco Mejia.
Breaking ball is outside, 1-0. One ball, 1 strike. Mejia, not a big guy, but boy, we have already seen him hit some vicious line drives.
Yeah, he can swing the bat. Very good bat speed.
Off-speed pitch at him out front, 1-2.
And yeah, be careful up the middle. He's not afraid to take it up the middle.
Smothered in the dirt by Holiday. Now the 2-2. Chopped off the plate foul. Well, John Adams, he's not satisfied with 11 runs. He's still banging away on his drum up there. He wants to see at least 1 more.
Well, he's standing 90 feet away.
Naquin at third base with 2 down, the 2-2 pitch. And Mejia chases one in the dirt, strikes out to end the inning. We'll go to the ninth. Cleveland 11, Detroit nothing.
Their 19th consecutive game, and we've seen a lot of number 19s here around the ballpark tonight. Welcome back to center field. Al Pulowski, Jensen Lewis, and Boyd Jensen. 19 is a significant number, but so is the run differential.
Yeah, at plus 100 if it ends like it is right now. But great outing from Carrasco. The Lindor show continues, and then Danny Salazar. A lot to break down for you on Indians Live.
That's coming up after the game. Indians Live brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the 9th inning, let's send it back upstairs to Matt and Rick, fellas.
Thank you, Al and Jensen. We talked about the run differential earlier. I know Jensen just mentioned during the win streak, but now for this season they're plus 218, which means they're now 50 runs better than the closest team to them, which is the Dodgers. Amazing what they have done during this streak. And now Zach McAllister on the pitch here in the ninth.
Well, it's September 11th, and they're looking to go 12-0 in September.
And I don't think, as somebody said to me, it's been a long time to ever start a month like they've done.
Incredible.
That's the thing with this. When you have a streak like this, there are just so many little tidbits and notes.
Oh, you could go on forever. And I mean,
your head starts spinning.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. The numbers just keep on piling up the more wins you get. It gets out of control. You know one thing, they're out there, they're having fun, they're playing well. And you know the numbers are certainly going to favor them.
The 2-1 pitch is fouled out of play. No Indians team ever has started any month better than this one.
I can't believe it. I mean, that'd be like starting the season out 12-0 or something like that. Just any month, you say. It's hard to do.
The Philadelphia Phillies are the last team to win their first 11 games in a month when they did it first 11 in August. Swing and a miss. McAllister strikes out Ty Collins. Storylines brought to you by Mazda. Indians have given up 32 runs during the streak. They have blanked Detroit so far here tonight. They've hit 37 home runs and one more tonight. The Minnesota Twins set the current divisional era record since 1969. When they won their first 15 games in the month of June, also in 1991, the year the Phillies had an 11-0 start to August. Smashed up the middle, and that's a base hit for Jacoby Jones. So a one-out single here in the ninth.
Next up at number 49, Dixon Machado.
Dixon Machado takes a fastball for a strike. Corey Kluber goes tomorrow night for the Indians. Matt Boyd, left-hander for Detroit. Alan Jensen will start our coverage at 6:30 as usual with Indians Live. As the Indians will have an opportunity now to go for 20 in a row, a feat that has not been equaled since 2002 when the Oakland A's won 20 in a row. Strike three call. McAllister with the second strikeout of the inning. Right to the outside corner. And now the top of the order. And Ian Kinsler, who was lifted for Andrew Romine. So Romine, a switch hitter, will get an opportunity to bat with two down. Swings at the first pitch, pops it in the air, left field, shallow. Geyer racing in, makes the catch, and the Indians march on. 19 in a row. They are now 88 and 56 on the year. Magic number down to 6. Carlos Carrasco, the winner. He goes to 15 and 6 on the year. And the Indians' amazing surge takes another step towards history. Next up, the Oakland A's, who won 20 in a row back in 2002. The Indians will go for that mark. That's the best ever in the American League's history. And they'll go for that tomorrow night when Corey Kluber takes the ball for the Indians.
And the beat goes on. I mean, I don't know what else you could say. It was a big 5-run second inning. You know, that got them rolling again tonight. Again, scoring first. And everybody a part of the action. The bottom part of the lineup set the table. They got their home run in this ball game. They had a triple. You know, they're a doubles machine, but that was it. Just the 2 extra base hits. So the fans that were here tonight certainly enjoyed it. And once again, the streak continues.
Yeah, 18,521 here tonight. Boy, it'd be great to see a big crowd come down here tomorrow night to cheer the Indians on as they try to go for 20 in a row behind Corey Kluber. We'll take a timeout. Back with some final thoughts right after this.